know, like you can only squeeze so much into 2.4 kilocycles, you know. So appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, this one sounds good. No, I like it.
So much into
2.4 some other reports kilocycles,
you know. So
it just sounds really good,
man. Thank
like easy listening.
Yeah,
this one sounds good. No, I like it.
So much into
but it's just got a nice smooth sound to it. Let me see, Larry, did you make it back? Or Tom? No, I guess they're kind of gone too, but we'll be standing by here if you need to make any other changes or whatever. And I can give you my input. That and a dime won't get you a cup of coffee, though. This is in 2ETJ, Rick, in Pittsburgh.
Oh, Roger, Rick. I might have worked you before. I've been QRT for a while. Took a lightning hit here a while back and posted a whole bunch of stuff, and I sent this receiver off to be totally restored, so I basically got a new R4C. I spent more money on this stuff here than I would a mid-range solid-state radio, but, you know, I just kind of like it. That's the way it is. To each his own, you know, that's what ham radio is about. Everybody runs what they want to run, and this is what I like, so that's what I'm sticking with. I appreciate it, man. The name is Mike, and I'm in Evansville, Indiana. I might have talked to you, but it's been a couple of years ago before the frequency went to hell there. Sounds like might be settling down. Let's hope. Anyway, 7-3, and I'll be living in Indiana. I might have talked to you, but it's been a couple of years ago.
Real time, Mike. Nice to chat with you. It's been a while, and good to hear you back. And I've gone through a lightning hit. Gosh, what was that? 8-9 years ago, and it's no fun. You know, it's a lot of downtime, a lot of rebuilding and everything, and fortunately insurance covered it, but it was still it took a lot of time. We'll see you a little later, Mike, and my pleasure in 2ETJ.
Yeah, I didn't even turn it into the insurance. I figured I'd get jerked around with them. I had an experience with them a while back, and they didn't even send a guy out to look at it. They just said that we don't cover flood. Our water had come in, the pipe next door broke and flooded my basement. And, took out a brand new furnace and air conditioner, and they had some Alpha Hotel from Michigan called me. So I'm going to check the ARRL deal out and see if I can get a comparison with their insurance. Maybe go with that, get some kind of group rate or something. Somebody else come in there. Go ahead there at your frequency. Just Whiskey Uniform 9 Whiskey.
Okay, and who was the Papa Quebec Tango? I guess he didn't stick around. Okay, Mike, I'll catch you a little later. The other guys are all out eating sandwiches in 2ETJ.
I don't know what's on, and Al, you know, I can't hear Al at all today. But I can hear you and Don as usual. You know, I hear a whole lot more better east and west most of the time than I do south and west, south and north. But Anyway, I just kind of wanted to tell you, boy, you got it working over here from anywhere from an 8, and then you drop down to about a 3 when you turn it out west. So, man, you got it working good. I wish I could do something like that.
Well, it's real easy. All you got to do is jab out and rib 4 or 5 times a week until he sends you one. I'm not running the amp today. I'm just running 100 watts. So I think that was a pretty fair test. But no, I can't claim special knowledge or credit because although I have played around with the rays. In fact, Al and I and Don both, all three, spent probably a whole season playing around with loops and trying this and that. And a couple of years ago, about a couple of years ago, and then I got frustrated and burned out on it. And Al kept persevering. He actually did all the hard work, and he sent me this one, and then all I had to do was put the air and line it up and hook it up. So the credit goes to him for his building skills and knowing how to tune them, because man, it just fell right in. But anyway, Don, when I switch, I see huge difference on Don too. Sometimes up to 20 dB or more. He's about the right distance and the right angle from here, and I see a pretty good difference on him when he switches too. He doesn't think he has much directivity, but he does down here on me. So anyway, yep. Al stepped away. He said he'd be right back. So Don, pick it up if you're hearing me. KD5 IPK.
Yeah, target is 0FDL. W9, JG9, MEH. You copy? 0FDL. Oh, now you show up.
Well, I got caught doing one thing or another.
Month and day of your birth, not the year. Month and day.
9:27. So he was right on the money.
I gotta tell you, great minds do think alike, though. No, but that's exactly what happened. By the time I got back to the kitchen, the sausages were almost done, the hash browns were brown, and the egg was boiling over. So I worked on that, and I ate that, and then I started doing the dishes. And yeah, Brian did show up, and his ladder was too short, so I had to lend him my ladder. He had to get on the roof and do all that kind of stuff. So my apologies, brother. So sorry about that.
Yeah, is that a Caribbean thing? Hash browns, breakfast with boiled eggs? I mean, what do you got, like jerk chicken or jerk beef with that?
Well, on the contrary, I'll have to say no, because growing up in the Caribbean, I knew nothing about hash browns. So that's only a term that I learned since I came to the Americas. Here's another thing, I didn't know grits growing up in St. Lucia. Maybe they did have grits, but it might have been only for the rich and famous. But I had no idea what grits was, and came to America, and I actually like grits now. One day, we were up in Canada, and we had just crossed the waterfalls over there into Canada. It was really early, like 6 in the morning. Went into a restaurant and ordered breakfast, and I ordered some grits. And the lady in Canada asked me, "What's grits?"
I've been down here in the South for, I guess, going on about 13, 14 years now. And, I've never eaten grits.
Imagine that. Well, grits is, I think, I'm not correct, but it might be some kind of rice that's crushed down really, really small.
Huh?
Yeah, into like a cereal type situation. It's basically made just like a cereal, and that's all that grits is.
No, man, that's hominy.
Oh.
Grits are hominy.
Oh, what's hominy? What's the origination of hominy?
Corn.
Oh. Well, you see, I didn't even know that. I Like I said, growing up in the Caribbean, it's so funny how I still talk about growing up in the Caribbean. I'm actually in America longer than I lived in the Caribbean, Roger.
Yeah, but all those things stick with you there. But no, hominy is a southern dish, and it's made from corn. It's sort of puffed up white corn. It's corn that's soaked in water. Right.
Oh, and they grind it up really small to look like cereal type base thing. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, maybe they did have grits in the Caribbean, but I had no idea what it was. And if they did have it, it might have been not a poor person food, or especially in the Caribbean. Now, maybe in America, you know, a lot of what they call poor people foods back in the day is now what everybody go for. But yeah, I had no idea, like grits and hash browns and stuff like that. Man, we had no idea what that was. For me, growing up was either bread and cheese or bread and butter, and there was no butter. Most of them be bread and oil, Roger.
Yeah, no, I've never tried. Well, I have taken a bite of it, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, he said grits is a southern dish. You don't find it up. Well, it's in Ohio. For as far and wide as I go in the 48, you know, most people know what grits is. But like I said, I got into Canada one day, just right across the border, right across the waterfalls, and I ordered the breakfast and I ordered grits, and the lady in Canada asked me, "What is grits?" I couldn't believe she had no idea what grits was.
Yeah, it's very unheard of in Canada to get grits.
Huh. And so when you say it's a southern dish, like there's a lot of a lot of what I call, they used to call it poor people food, and now it's like oxtails, for instance. You know, oxtails probably was back in the day, I could bet you that the rich and famous had nothing to do with oxtail. They would go for a T-bone steak or filet mignon or something like that. But now oxtail is worth a lot of money, Roger.
Yep.
So yeah. So you see, Dan, I didn't just make that up. It just came about.
What was the excuse for taking so long? They trade?
Yes, sir.
He was helping the maintenance man hold the ladder.
Hold the ladder for what?
Well, it's good to hear you, Tom. Yeah, gosh, I had a great summer, and that's one of the reasons why you hadn't heard the people out of me in a long time. I have two hobbies. One's music and one's radio. I love playing music, Tom, and I love playing on the radio because I love to talk, but one have to die so the other can live, you know. I can't juggle two hobbies.
Anyway, just trying to back up the ball, and I remember listening as you're trying to do the used to be of the old guys that start to come back slowly but sure.
Roger, KC at QXD. Well, it's going to be the same, but it's going to be different. But let's hope that it's going to be a good difference, because nothing stays the same. That's the one thing about life in general, that nothing is consistent. Everything must change. So let's hope that it's going to be a good change, Roger. Okay. Now, I cannot quite hear Paul, though. If anybody could hear him, tell him I say top of the morning.
Paul, are you still out there?
Paul, he said top of the morning to you.
Jerry Bob says the top of the morning to you. Well, what the heck? Jerry Bob, what the heck took you so long?
I just gave the whole story. I ate my food, and the maintenance guy came over, and he was unclogging the gutters, the top of the house, because the water would run down the corner of the house and flood not the basement, but underneath the house. And the last couple of weeks ago, I had mold growing in the house because of the standing water. It created humidity, so we were trying to figure out where was the water coming from. So I had to hold a ladder for the guy and just walk around the house, and that's what took me that long.
Paul, he had to eat, and then he had to have a guy clean out his gutters for him, and that's what took so long. So I'm going to turn back to Cherry Bob, because he's not here. You and he can turn it back to who we would think he so what he play. Welcome, K901. Always have to hold the ladder. Well, that's a better excuse than
Hey, Cherry Bob.
Cherry Bob, because that's a better excuse than what he expected.
But tell him that's it. I could almost barely hear him, which is unusual, though. Ask Paul for me, is his antenna turned in the correct direction, or is he on the right antenna? Because it's very unusual that I'm not able to hear Paul on 40 meters.
You can't turn a wire.
Oh, is it a wire? I thought he had a beam. I thought he had a 2-element beam. Ask him, Dan. I think he's wearing a 2-element beam.
What's he babbling about?
He thought you had a 2-element beam.
I do.
He was pointed the right direction.
Yeah, it's pointing to the southwest.
Cherry Bob, he does have a beam, and he said it's pointing to the southwest.
Southwest. Am I southwest of Paul? I think I'm due south of Paul. If anything, I may be a little more east than southwest. It may be a little more due east than west of him.
Hey, Paul, could you turn that wire?
Let me go out and see if I can move the tree.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe it might be the band. It might be the band, because like I said, it's very unusual that I'm not able to hear Paul on 40 meters, so it might be the band.
You think?
Sucks today.
Hey, Terry Bob thinks it might be the band, Paul.
Oh, you think?
That's what I said.
The band's playing the wrong song.
I think when Terry Bob studied his depth, he forgot to look at that propagation part of it.
Yeah, but that neat little sailor on that box is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not hearing him at all.
Hey, as far as those excuses, Terry Bob reminds me a lot of Jimmy Durante. He had a million of them.
And just pour them out into a skillet and fry them in butter, and that's hominy. That's basically the unground up kind. The same as the grits, except it isn't ground real small. Fry it up in butter until it's a little bit crispy, and try that.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, usually the hominy that I've eaten there is like great big blown up sized kernel corn. Like maybe 2 or 3 times their normal size.
Right.
Well, but it's not called grits, it's called hominy, is that correct?
Right,
That's
right.
correct. But
It's
grits
hominy.
is called
Well,
hominy
is grits.
Well, wait, if hominy is grits, but you say it's not called grits, it's called hominy, how come? Because one is a different size from the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in other words, grits would be like crushed up versions, chopped up versions of it, a little finer. But hominy is whole kernel corn, and grits would be like cut in little pieces. It's same stuff, just smaller portions.
I see.
Grits is ground hominy.
Right.
Okay, I see. Well, one of I'm not a very good shopper, though, but I'll put it down on my grocery list and one of these good days. Or actually coming up soon because my cupboards are bare. I'm going to put that on my grocery list, and because I do like grits. My gosh, I love grits, and I make it well enough that I enjoy it. But my ex-wife Celeste, oh my gosh, she could make herself some grits, and she puts everything in there, cheese and all kinds of other crap in there, and she makes herself the best grits, Roger.
Oh yeah, and check your icebox. Make sure you're not out of bananas.
Why? Would I need to put some bananas in there too?
No, but I know that last one you had there looked like that was probably the last one out of the bunch.
You. That's all I gotta say. Oh no, but you know what, Dan? You might be right. That one in particular might have been the last one, but no, I eat a banana every morning. I eat a banana, an orange, and a mango every morning, and then I go walking and and bite.
Yes, it is.
Hungry again, and then I eat a bigger meal. Roger.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good for you there, Terry Bob. It's good for you, and that gives you the daily requirements of potassium that your body needs. Yeah.
Did you eat the rest of that other banana?
I don't know. Would you like me to inquire?
Yeah, I would.
Paul wants to know, what did you do with the other 2/3 of that banana?
I don't know. I never even saw that banana before you guys made mention of it. And I never seen it after. Coming to think of it, I have no idea what became of the banana.
Terry Bob, have you ever had fried cabbage?
No, gosh, have I had it fried? I don't know, but when I go to the Jamaican restaurant to get Jamaican food, they serve you cabbage, but it's not fried, though. It's kind of boiled, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's really good. They got all kinds of things in there, but no, it's not fried, no.
Yeah, shred up a bunch of cabbage and throw it in a skillet with about a quarter cup of bacon grease and fry it until it's crunchy, and try that. You'd love that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, just a reminder, I'm not a very good cook, though. I learned to cook for myself, after Katie left, so... And I could cook to save my life, but I could never cook the same thing twice. So I really admire people that have the skills of cooking and know how to put a little drizzle of this and drizzle of that. And I really admire that. But the things I'm good at, I'm really good at it. You can't touch me, like MC Hammer said. Can't touch that. The things I'm really good at, I'm really good at it. Like cars and girls and music and electronics, and I love stuff like that. But there's other things I'm just not good at, like the houses. I can't even put a nail in the wall. Houses and cooking and stuff like that is just not my thing.
I do all the cooking here, Terry Bob.
Yeah, now my one brother, not Eustace, Curtis, is a really good cook. And I remember Celeste's dad, Celeste, my ex-wife. Gosh, it's so hard to even say ex-wife. I mean, my kid's mom, because even though Celeste and I agreed to disagree 20 years ago, but you guys know the story. We still great friends. We still great buddies. She was here yesterday, actually. I just bought her a battery for her car. And we just got unmarried last year after 20 years of agreeing to disagree. So it's hard for me to say my ex-wife. I still say my wife. But, Celeste's dad, he was from Louisiana. And my gosh, this guy, guys, he loved to cook. And I used to love to go over for dinner at his house. But I used to hate to go over for dinner because the guy took more pleasure in cooking the food than eating the food, Roger.
Oh, wait a minute. How do you unmarried? Do you mean a divorce?
Well, I think we call it a dissolution, because the divorce is when you just really agree to disagree, Roger.
No. It doesn't matter whether it's unreconcilable differences or what have you there. If you dissolve a marriage, it's either a divorce or an annulment, and you were married way too long to be annulled.
Well, what's the word disillusion? Where does that come from?
That means both parties agree that there's nothing there to resolve. So you disillusion, but it's a divorce.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I never knew that, but that makes an awful lot of sense. Because we never disagreed over anything. I mean, she threw me out 20 years ago because I was, the biggest cheater. It's like the show on TV, The Biggest Loser. I was the biggest cheater there ever was, and she kicked me out. And she always said, Dan, you wouldn't believe. Celeste always said, the day she told me to leave, she prayed to God that I would never leave, but because the girl will love me up till today, the same way. But me, back in the day, I actually couldn't wait to leave. So I ran out of the house, Roger.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's a lot of that is due to the direction that you chose for your career. That's not unusual at all there, and I believe that's probably what allowed you to make those decisions, and I think she was well aware of that. So Katie Bob was over there again yesterday. Yeah, I don't think she's given up on you yet, Terry Bob.
No, well, that's exactly what I was trying to tell you guys. You know that it's not a little confusing. It's a lot confusing. And a couple of days ago, when I said I went out to dinner with a friend, it was her. She invited, and yeah, I kind of don't like talking about it because, like I said, I always get myself in trouble. Whether it's Katie, whether it's the redhead, whether it's the banana, whether it's the girl down the street, But I remembered you, Dan, and I remember you guys, and I honestly has come to the assumption that, because Katie and I got together when she was so young. I met Katie when she was 22 years old, and she's 35 years old now. I am 60 years old. So there's a 26-year gap between Katie and I. So I honestly think in one term that Katie is just grown into herself and she's trying to find herself. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but in the same aspect there, I believe she's lingering and hanging on, hoping that you would do a little growing yourself.
I have no idea what to do because, like I said, the ball is in her court. 2 days ago, I sent her a text and it goes, "Hey, I'm off on Sunday," because, I was supposed to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And my Sunday gig got canceled in Cleveland. So I sent her a text on Friday and I said, "Hey, I'm off on Saturday. I'd like to hang out with you some. What do you think?" And I was honestly expecting a no, or I'm busy, or, one of these kinds of things. I just break my heart all over again. And you wouldn't believe she texted back and said, "Well, we'll have to play it by ear, because remember my sister's in town, and she's only in town for 3 days, and Sunday's one of the days, so I'll let you know."
Well, Terry Bob, here's the cut and the dry of it there, guy. Did you get her young, and did you more or less raise her to love you the way you are? The answer is yes. Does she want you the way you are? The answer is no. She's hoping that you have grown with her, but I believe she's still trying to hang on with some hope that the ball might be in your court.
Well, brother, you wouldn't believe I've used up all my cards, including the ace, as far as how to reconcile things, and the one thing that I know for sure is she's not going away. And I've given her enough opportunities, and I've told her, "Katie, why don't you just leave me alone? Why don't you just go away? Or why don't you just tell me to go away and I'll leave you alone?" And that doesn't happen. What's happening is, Dan, that I know for sure, she loves living by herself. I know that. And now I don't know for sure if she's seen anybody, but there's no sign, there's no red flag, there's no anything. There's never a time that I call Katie and she didn't answer the phone. Or there's never a time I call her after she's not responding. There's never a time. So I've never actually caught her or suspected or anything, or anybody else have told me or anything in that direction. And that confuses me more than anything else. She's only 35 years old. Why does she just want to be by herself?
Well, because, she's grown accustomed to you. This woman has accepted you for what you are and the way you are, and she's forced herself to grow up in that lifestyle with you, knowing that you're kind of a rogue and don't really have any limitations. And I'm thinking that you maybe are taking advantage of the fact that she loves you despite your idiosyncrasies there, Roger.
Roger, well, she does. I must say that she does. Like I said, last week she called me up and goes, "What size shoe did you wear again?" And I said, "Size 8.5. She goes, "No, it's not no 8.5. You go see." I said, "Well, I'm out walking. When I get back, I'll go take a look at it." And I said, "Why? You were the shoe shop, the shoe place?" She goes, "Yes, I'm in there with my mom." And there was these Converse, there's Converse sneakers on sale, which, I wear a lot of them now. Every now and then, Dan, she'll show up with a gift like that, with a pair of shoes, or with cologne, or with a shirt, or every now and then. So, yes, you're right. She's not going away, but as far as having her back in as far as me calling the shots, like, hey, I want to see you on Tuesday, all right? The answer was not, it will not be, all right, like it used to be. It will always be, well, I got a lot of work to do, or I have Pilates, sorry, or I have to go to the gym, or there's always, so it's never a direct answer, which that's why I always say the ball's not in my court. I'm not able to call the shots. Does the shot be made? Yes, but it's always on her terms, Roger.
Yeah, but listen, it's been on your terms for 15 years. You understand? You've been having the game played all your way. You have not been willing to change anything or alter her perception of you for 15 years. She's just trying to claim some sort of power in the relationship before you ruled. Everything you did, it was done according to you, your way or the highway.
Well, it actually turned out that way, or it seems to be that way, but 9 out of 10 of Katie's and I head buttons were because she was exactly like me. She's a strong woman. She's not a pushover now, I'll tell you, for as little as she is. And that's what used to make me mad all the time, Dan. I look at this little person just talking right back to me. And I sometimes want to just pick her up and throw her over the Brooklyn Bridge, And 9 out of 10, or let's say half of our disagreements was her, But I have come to terms with that, of how bad I was and how wrong I was. But she claims that she has, like when we sit down and talk, and she either don't want to talk about it, like she don't want to talk about the past, which is kind of good, or she have never sat down and agreed. You know what, Cherry, you're right. Half of our problems with me, she have never actually agreed to that. But maybe you're right, Dan. Maybe in her head, maybe she's agreeing in her head that, you know what, half of the problems were me, and that's probably why she can't get herself to walking away.
I think you're underestimating the percentage on what the problems were. I think you're a little more than half of the problem. I think you're probably 75% of the problem, and you kind of just don't want to accept that.
Well, no, I've already accepted. I've already accepted it. I've already, what's the other word? Oh, there's another word. Well, accept is a good word, but there's another word that it's not coming to my mind now. Surrender is the word. I have already surrendered to the situation. I've already accepted the what isness. It is what it is. People use that term very loosely and don't realize that they're right, but it is what it is. So I've already accepted the what isness of the situation. I've accepted her way, and I've actually surrendered, Dan, to the situation. And now, yes, I still love the girl. I mean, Katie, she never goes away from my head, There's two people that never leave my head, Katie and my daughter. They never leave my head. On the other hand, there's nothing I could do because I'm not in charge.
Well, you raised Katie from a little girl, and now she's a woman, and she's grown up under your terms. She's ate all of your crap for 15 years. She has tolerated all of your crap, and what she wants to do, she's been hoping that you would mature and grow up. You know how many 60-year-old men that would love to have a 30, 35-year-old woman worship them and love them the way she does? Dude, you need to step back and do a little closer evaluation of what you had and what you could have, or what you're possibly going to throw away.
I would like that 30-year-old to appreciate me.
Well, that's the thing. You guys are all right, and in that sense, you're right. Now, here's the thing, though, Dan. and Tom and Bob and whoever else is on this conversation here. The problem is, which probably is not a problem, I do have 30-year-old girls just still crawling all over me, and including the redhead. You know, when she calls and goes, "Can I come over?" and I goes, "No, not tonight." And she'll go, "You know, you don't want to be with a girl half your age." And sometimes I sit back and I think about that. You know, why am I so fortunate that I run into these women half my age? so I don't know. I don't have the answer, Roger.
Well, I do. You're still stuck in that rock and roll, I'm a big rock star millionaire syndrome. You've taken advantage of it, and you have abused it your whole relationship with Katie, Bob, and you just you refuse to let go of that. You don't want to make any concessions in your lifestyle in order to snag a beautiful girl like Katie. I saw the redhead, dude. Muddy, she don't make a pimple on Katie Bob's ass. Now, am I talking about superficial appearance? Yes. But from what I heard about her emotionally and how she has dealt with you, dude, you got a great woman there, and due to your denial, I think you're going to let her slip away.
No, she's not going to slip away. If there's any slipping away, it'll be on her own terms, because I've laid down my arms. I've picked up my, Yeah, you're right. The redhead it doesn't come close to Katie at all. Even though, mind you, she's younger than Katie, and there's other ones in the middle, that just come and go. But nobody could step in Katie's shoes for some reason. Well, for one reason, she's got the smallest feet that I ever. That's so funny. She's got the smallest feet that I ever seen. Dan, over.
Well, you got pretty small feet, too. As a matter of fact, I wear an 8.5 shoe, and I'm 6 foot tall.
So bad. Actually, one day we were visiting my sister in Staten Island, and she's one of the people that you have to take your shoes off when you get to the house. And so we got there, and she wasn't there. And she came home, and there was Katie's little shoes sitting there with everybody else's, and she goes, "Who are these little princess's shoes?" So she actually thought it was a little child, but Katie's got such small feet. But anyway, yeah, you're right. It's neither here nor there, and I'm working on it, Doctor. You wouldn't believe. Every day I wake up, and like I said, I've already surrendered to the situation. So it is what it is. It was like I was, I was explaining to Paul earlier this morning that it's like being stuck in the mud. Okay, instead of the more you wiggle, the deeper you sink, because you're already in the mud. Or instead of cursing the mud, so now I already surrendered. Okay, I'm stuck in the mud. All right, now I need to find my way out of the mud. In the meantime, I'm finding my way out of the mud in terms of Katie and I, because we're still great friends. She still buy me stuff. She still take me out to dinner. She still comes to my house. I still get my little Christmas gift, But on the other hand, I am still in the mud, Roger.
I find the fact that Katie Bob is still hanging on to you is absolutely incredible, and I think you're making a huge mistake of letting that woman get away from you, but that's just my opinion and also none of my business. Terry Bob, have yourself a great day, buddy, and I wish you all the best in the future in your adventures with this young lady. Have yourself a good one, buddy, and this is K9RSY.
Roger, and I thought I heard Paul's ID in one corner of my head. This is KC at QXP. Doctor, that's great advice coming from a good friend. I do appreciate it. And you're actually right. I think my problem is not having Katie, because you're right. I do have her, because women are funny. They're either with you or they're not. I think my problem is that control thing, or that domination thing, or that upper hand thing that I don't have. Oh, that jump, and she said, how high? Because I don't have that control anymore, I'm thinking that I lost control, but you might be right. I'm going to take that into great consideration. Sit back and, just, smell the roses and watch it unfold. Thank you very much, Doctor. I'm sitting back reading the mail. This is Casey at QX Delta.
Catch you later, millionaire. Always good talking to you, K9RSY.
Where's he going?
Tell Paul to go back up to 3850, see if I can hear him for a little while. Somebody, please.
Hey, Dan, where's the doctor going?
He said he was willing to go back up to 3850 to see if he could hear anything. Say what? I tried to be gentle, Paul. I didn't want to say quit being a dumbass.
Well, you know what you really should have told him?
What?
The common denominator in both of them scenarios is him.
I know. But anyway, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, Paul.
I learned I don't want to be in control. It just causes more trouble.
That's why you never have an argument.
That's right.
And Mr. Haney, I think I heard you out there. Could you do me a favor and kiss my hairy ass?
I thought you shaved your butt.
No. If I do anything like that, it would be nair.
Why, you don't want a prickly butt?
Well, right now he's going through a little bit of turmoil. He's having a little bit of denial about that DOJ letter about Mike Guernsey there. He's having a little psychological problem. Oh, you know it's driving that old crazy bastard nuts.
Don't let my call sign pass your lips.
I'll climb your frame and put the boots through.
I think you ought to stir him up again.
I think I'm loving it. This is a long time coming, but he's getting his just desserts. He's gonna get out the tippy stool, Paul.
Oh, no.
I hope I find out where it's at, so if I ever get a chance to vacation in Spanish, I can piss on it.
Yeah.
The golden water fountain.
Dan, you got 6 pipes around there and light a match to it, have an eternal flame.
Eternal flame. Or a Coleman lantern. Somebody needs to teach that boy how to zero beat.
Well, you got the brain.
I hear a lot of Carol's dingleberries in there whining, but about maybe 1 or 2 S units.
Man, will you quit stepping on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was lying there. I'm not really sorry at all. Yeah, I know it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, if you come across the border, let me know when you're there so I can come up and beat your ass.
Waiting for you. Waiting for you.
Boy's bag. So why don't you go back up there with your buddy Carl and rub his butt? Come on, you clean cowboy bag. Why don't you go to Carl and rub his butt? Hey, Dan, did you know that that's a clean cowboy? That's a clean cowboy, right? Bag style. He's kind of got a rough Brookbank Mountain. That's what he's got. If you're one of these little pussies that type of people.
Keep off. Well, I wouldn't say little. He could be a big pussy. You can't really tell whether it's a little pussy or not. It might be a big one.
You mean a big pussy?
Yeah, you know, one of them foot-size jobs. Can we say pussy on the radio?
In this country, so don't give me that crap.
Oh, that's a Madeira sucker fed. I understand now.
God, that guy laughs like the long wire.
Yeah, he does, don't he?
Well, if your mama would have been, you'd have never been born.
Oh, my. I shall be back.
Wendy Burner. Blue Waffle Wendy Burner.
Good idiot, still on the airwaves.
No, sir, it is not. Come on in here, W4RNZ. Well, I got you about 10 over S9 here, Mr. Carl, and you sound absolutely wonderful today there, buddy boy. How are you doing? Man, if I was any better there, Mr. Carl, I'd be a couple of good-looking, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, big-titted, long-legged twins there. Well, the same thing, buddy. You've got the best sounding ICOM 718 I have ever heard. Hi, Roger. Well, it's good to hear you in there. You're sounding great. You sound like you feel great, and that's what matters there, buddy. And we're always good to hear you in here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed there, Roger. W4RMD73 to you, my friend, and you keep on keeping on, because I can't imagine what we'd do without you out here, Mr. Carl. You know we enjoy hearing from you every day if we can hear you. And have a good day. I hope you have a pleasant tomorrow. From K9 RSY. WCA. K9RSY at 20 after the hour.
K9RS5, K5MIX.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Hey, I just found one of Zextronics HFT 1500 3KW.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing as the 989C. They're actually identical to it.
Oh, an MFJ?
Yeah.
Well, it says 3KW on it. It only wants 175.
They're lying.
They're what?
They're lying.
What do you mean they're lying?
Well, I called and talked to the technician that builds those, and he said realistically it's about 900 to 1,000. So you're talking maybe 2 kW.
Oh, well, I mean, I blew it up. It's got 300 and 3 kW button on it.
That's what the technician said. I said, well, isn't that kind of a lie? And he goes, well, yeah, it's kind of a stretch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't need that.
No, you don't. I mean, anybody else that runs like maybe 1,100, 12, 1,300 watts, they could probably get away with it, but you can't.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just looking, trying to find something good.
I would stick with either Timtech or Palstar.
Yeah, they want a lot of money for Palstar.
Well, you get what you pay for, buddy boy.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Here's a Palstar. Oh, it's sold. An AT2K. I don't want no automatic. I don't like those automatic tuners.
I don't either.
We're doing an MFJ 986. That's 3K watt, and it's differential speed is just 2 knobs. That's
It'll hold legal limit, but you better not go much over it.
Hopefully, it could be pretty good. I think I found one for that. Of course, all we got an 80 feet, and it's supposed to be 200 yet, so you know, but I thought about it because if I did find it, it'd be 220 or 221, so you know, so
Yeah, it'll handle 1,100, 1,300, 14, maybe 1,500 PEP. But dude, I've got an 801 meter over here, and when I tune this Syntec up, I slapped the glass on this 2,000 watt meter, and that tuner would sit there and go, poof.
oh wow. Yeah, I hadn't heard anybody burning them 986s. I figured that would be hard to do.
I burnt the brand new one up, the 986C, in 3 days.
Yeah, the C. Well, I'm talking about just the plain 986, but I imagine the C, I think you had a third knob, didn't it?
Yeah, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter there. They're okay for around 11, 13, 1,400 watts. When you start stretching past 1,500 watts dead key on CW, it'll burn up that input board or eat those doggone little doorknob capacitors for lunch.
Yeah, well, another thing about those automatics, I run the LEG 1000 Pro 2, you know, like I said, my biggest fan for 80B, and I've got zero problem with it. This thing is super good, and once you get the settings, you know, where you want them, it just boom it over, you know, it's been real good.
Well, just as long as you don't exceed 1,500 watts at full tune, you'll be all right with those little tuners there. But, dude, I'm telling you right now, the Timtech 238C, that's a good tuner. The Palstar is a good tuner. They'll take it. But anything else, I bought one after. I've had Vectronics, I've had Ameritrons, I've had, you know, they are over gauging the specs on that thing, and they will arc and smoke.
Yeah, what are they trying? I wonder why they're doing that. Are they figuring on PEP, just to work on cycling? Is that what they're figuring on, that they're getting that in for just a millisecond or something?
That is correct. That's rated it. I had a not a Tintec, MFJ guy, a technician there, tell me. He said, realistically, it's more around 900 to 1,000 watts.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, in other words, the problem is somebody's not going to be regulated, to be honest, on what they really should be doing.
And that's what I told him. I said, so in other words, it's pretty much a lie. He says, well, we prefer to call it an embellishment.
Yeah, anything that's turned around there, that politically correct comes in there, doesn't it?
You're absolutely right.
I don't know. It's crazy. Well, and that's, like I said, I don't want to run no more than 1,000 here. They check this out, set it back up there a while, but I ain't ready for mine. I run the 1,000 close thing out up there, and it holds it just good, so no problem. I am looking at another amp that I think is a good buy, an LK450 right now that I thought was priced very reasonable for a 1,000-watt amp. Amp supply, but I've never owned one of those. But just for an extra amp, I thought it was worth, $550.
Roger, yeah, it probably is there. As long as you don't exceed 1,500 watts out on a load on tune, you'll be all right with an MFJ or an Ameritron or a Vectronics. But if your amplifier goes over 1,500 watts dead carrier on CW, you can kiss them babies bye.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Well, that's what I was thinking. If I found a 986 and bought a 220 each kit or 221, as long as they keep it, like you said, that there's a little under 15 there, it's all right. They're right in or a little less. Just fine, of course, in fact, I'd rather be legal limit anyway, 1,500. They can't see the difference between that and $2,000 anyway,
Well, the supreme way of dealing with that is run a resonant antenna, and you don't have to use a tuner at all. Save yourself $400 or $500.
Put your fan banter up for all the bands, and then you got it.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Here's a Tintec automatic antenna tuner. I didn't even know Tintec made them. It's the model 253.
Yeah.
That's 2 kW, and he wants $385.
That's a good deal. See, what I like about Tintec tuners is their L network. That differential T, I'm sorry guys, but if you can get a tuner to tune in 2 different places there, that kind of scares me.
Yeah, and it's automatic and manual. You can manually tune it too if you want to.
Roger. I've never had one, but anything so far that I've had from Tintec has been a pretty good tuner. I'm not going to say they can't be blown up, because they can. I've done it.
They're having some kind of troubles right now. I've been hearing they had, I don't know if it's financial or ownership trouble.
Oh, they're damn near extinct right now.
Well, that's terrible. I know they were selling food and what I regret, I was going to buy 3 pounds of each of them for $135 because they beat my car. So I stood there and they sold out to me and they got their back. Man, I wish I'd grabbed one of them.
Just to let you know, I seen them the other day.
So there you go.
There is now 3 500Z ceramic tubes.
Where are you seeing that?
Seen it the other day, buddy. Well, I got my amplifier fixed. He pulled it out of the box.
I'd like to look at that.
Oh, they're smoking hot. They take a while, a little bit longer to heat up, to warm up, and a lot longer to cool down. But boy, they're tough. $250 a piece.
Well, that's not that bad. 3-year warranty on first glass is $200, so we're only talking $50.
Yeah, they're ceramic. I've never seen anything like it.
Where's this website at? Can I look at that?
You have to call John up, Dan. Hold on a minute, I'll give you his phone number. Give him a call and maybe he can tell you how to look it up.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah, he showed me. I never seen anything like it in my life.
3-500Z ceramic. Wow.
Well, you knew something had to come out because they're hard to get to. They're hard to find them. The Emacs.
We need to go back to USA made everything.
Well, that's true. That's why I carry Case Pocket knife, and they're still making.
Hey, I'm on the Trump train. Woo!
I knew there was something wrong with both of you.
Oh my God, you ain't no Democrat.
I'm born and raised, tried and true.
Well, that don't mean you have to stay that way. Oh, what a crook.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't get her in there for love of God. AlexJones.com, everybody. Pay attention to him.
I was going to email Donald and tell him for $150,000, I'll tell him how to improve his campaign. Don't talk.
He just, because he's not a politician, and he's going to have to. We do need some fresh blood up there, someone who can't be wrong.
Well, you get him in there, you'll have plenty of fresh blood. And shut up, McGrizzin. If I want any crap out of you, I'll squeeze you by the neck and pop your head.
Is he in there now?
Yeah.
Okay, ready to copy, Dan?
He's been such an asshole, he's developing hook and mouth disease.
Well, after I got into his pocketbook there with that legal fee he had to pay, he's got a little ass rash.
Hey, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay, ready to copy?
Yeah.
Okay, 901-332-4205. That's 901-332-4205. John Williams, Expert Electronics.
Got it.
Hey, give him a call. I don't know where he gets them. He had one out of the box. He took it out and showed it to me.
I've never even heard of that. Never.
Well, see, he builds amps for a living, so he would be one to know all the new stuff.
Roger, roger.
So you took him to court, Dan?
Oh, yeah, I took him to court. What'd you pay there for that lawyer to get a change of venue there, shit for brains? You want to talk? Talk about that.
K5 MIX for ID.
Yeah, I took him to court, and I'm fixing to take him back under federal here. That was under Tennessee State, but I think he needs to spend a little bit more money because he's too stupid to shut his fucking mouth.
Get him, Dan. Get him.
Yeah, he's got a real mental block. There's a mental block up there, called stupidity.
Oh, excuse me about that. I didn't mean to say that on the air, but I meant it in my mind.
Where's he located, Dan?
Kodak, Tennessee.
Oh, is that SOB, that old man?
Yeah, 72-year-old misfit moron, Armenian.
Yeah, but you know what's wrong with him, don't you, Dan?
Yeah, he's breathing.
No, other than that, yeah, I agree. But other than that, they had that spill, that damn radiation, I think, burned him up. Remember when they had that spill up there in that northeast corner, that radiation reactor overflowed and it polluted, it messed him up. It messed our people up, probably.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Mike, I'll tell you what, dude. Just because you're not doing this shit on, he stopped his email thing. That's what got his tit in the ringer. But if you think you're going to get out here and disrupt this frequency and tear it up because you got a little ass rash, you had to pay a lawyer. Dude, if you think that was a problem, the next lawyer is going to cost you 3 times that, asshole.
All we need is love.
Okay, Mike, well, I'll tell you what. You think I'm bullshit? You thought I was bullshitting you before? The next thing that comes your way, buddy, you're going to have to hire a better lawyer than that nickel and dime drunk you found in Ripley.
I thought this was the peaceful pot smoker's net. Hello, courtesy.
Yeah. Do what? Yeah, Terry Bob got in here, KHCIA. We had a good old time this morning, despite the Grizzlies' attempts to stop it. At WA2VMX, you frickin' retard, you think you're sitting out there going, rah, 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 and nobody knows who you are? Are you that stupid?
He's an asshole.
Hey, Dan, tell him to look at the black van down the street from his house.
Yeah, look at the black van down the street from your house.
Oh, they went to Blue Tahoes now?
That's the only reason I haven't done anything to stop that dumb son of a bitch from playing the tape loop. Because I want FCC to get him too. Yeah, he's playing the other night. Yeah, and his landlord has got a copy of all the legal documents from his bullshit too, so hopefully they'll evict his dumb ass.
He's playing that tape of you and that Joe up there up north of you. He's playing that all night the other night.
Yeah, AC9MV is just as worthless piece of shit as WA2VMX is. They're both two peas in a pod.
I agree.
Piece of stuff, Dan. Piece of stuff.
Oh yeah, stuff.
Oh, mercy. Why does he get a hold of his landlord? He hasn't been victim for having antennas on his house.
Well, we're working on that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have my buddy over there in Knoxville go by there, make some recent new recordings of his tape loop playing with video, and we'll see that Mr. and Mrs. Jinx see that, and we'll also see that FCC gets another grip of it with the legal documentation. The only reason that worthless son of a bitch got out of what he did is because he paid a lawyer to change the venue to the federal court. So if that's what he wants, if he wants federal court coming after him, keep doing what you're doing, you dumbass Armenian.
Oh, he figures federal court, they're going to have, you're going to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, they'll feel sorry for him, all right.
Yeah.
A smart person would stop while they're ahead. He's not a smart person. Well, I'm not going there. Anything else you'd like to say there, Skidmark, while you've got the microphone hooked up? That's what I thought.
Is he very far from you, Dan?
About 4 or 5 hours from me.
Oh, just wondering if Central Security's not working much closer. I know what was not happening at 3 a.m.
I would have loved to have been there when his doggone buddies at the sheriff's department served him with that doggone summons. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall.
Oh, exactly. I'm going to hear it croaking in the sewer. You probably have to clean up his pants.
Well, I am a professional amateur radio operator, and I went through the court system to try to deal with this because the FCC is like a screen door in a submarine. But if I'd have done it the other way, you'd have had a 72-year-old dead man laying out in the street all beat the hell up.
Kilo 5, Mike in the X-ray on the 10.
K9 RSY.
W538W.
Yeah, this, not to change the subject, but this tuner, he's saying our best offer.
Yeah, man, I'd hit him. What did he want? Like what did you say?
385, and where it says or BO.
I'd offer him $300. See what he said.
I think it's a digital tuner, isn't it?
I've never seen the automatic Tech. I really don't know.
I gotta see if there's a YouTube on it. Model 253. Let's see if there's anything.
So lathered up, but this rotten son of a bitch has been bugging me for over a year, and slandering and attacking my daughters, my family, torturing me on the internet with photos that he robbed from my kids' Facebook. He's hacked into my QRZ page. He's made claims to different places about me. He's a worthless little worm, and he needs his head tore off and shit down his neck.
Amen.
He loves you, Dan.
He'll always be the way he's working.
He just loves you, Dan. You think he loves me?
Yeah, he loves you, Dan. He's obsessed with you. He loves you.
Well, that may be true. I might be being a little harsh here. If love is involved.
Yeah, he just said something. What'd you say, Skid Mark?
So, here comes that little close to 20 meters, and you're now going in Madrid up there. I hear him back there.
Well, sure. His fearless leader is VE7KFM. Need I say any more?
Amen. Exactly right. You got it on the nail. He might go up there in the bathhouse with him, and you'll be there special time.
I've sat there on 20 meters and listened to him suck Carol Madeira's butt like it was a fountain full of chocolate.
I think his nickname is Deep Throat.
I wouldn't doubt that at all, Dan. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. In fact, there's, like I said, there's something, if we ever get together in the bathhouse, oh my goodness.
Dan, his nickname's Deep Throat.
That's the kind of short dealing.
That's true. Curtis is right there. Why waste your time on something that you can't do anything about? McGridgeon, is that all you got? No, seriously, Mike, is that all you got? Let's break out the booze and have a ball.
I'm glad I can't hear my good, but he ain't even getting down here at this 15 signal.
You want me to relay for you? Grab a ball.
So if somebody's went down in there and worked it over, it sounds like he's in a bell.
Oh, yeah, nobody will ever know who that is. We're in complete mystery. After he had to shell out 4 or 5, I don't know, what'd you pay for the lawyer? After Mike got butt hurt by keeping his concealed carry permit here in Ripley. It's taken about, what, a week or so, Mike, before you worked up the courage to get back out there at Skidmark? Hello? Hello? AC9MV hadn't worked for you. WA4D didn't work for you. Your other buddies over there, I can't remember his call sign. You've had a bunch of little succotash out there trying to defend you. Nothing works for you, Mike. There has to be a point where you have to consider, well, maybe I'm wrong. And your buddies at the sheriff, that didn't work for you? I thought you said you owned them, Mike. Why did you have to show up at court? Why did you have to hire a lawyer? You said you were a lawyer. Was it a conflict of interest there, Mikey? Dumbass. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm getting a little heated. K9RSY. You have a good one, too, guys. Enjoyed the conversation. K9RSY.
Hello, Dan. J5 MIX for clear. 2ETJ.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jim.
He better have a goddamn good reason for crossing my property line. The Tennessee troopers are not allowed, and they're not troopers. It's the Tennessee Highway Patrol. And I know very many of them. I know Clinton Valentine, and I know all of them out there. Okay, Bobby Bundren, and so on and so forth. I'm also an attorney. So if he crosses my property line without probable cause and a warrant, he's in big trouble because he's in my domain under the Tennessee Castle Law. So you take your threats about a Tennessee trooper and rub it on your chest, sir, and don't do it too hard. You won't get a blister.
This is Jeff, and it just concerns me that if you say you're an attorney, that you would make a threat to kill a Tennessee state trooper.
Well, if it concerns you, go down to General Sessions Court and file a complaint. I don't care whether you're concerned or not. It's an actual fact. If you come on my property without an invite, and if you're a law enforcement official and you don't have a warrant, you are going to reap the consequences of crossing private property.
You would kill a trooper.
If he came on my property without a warrant and probable cause, he would have a serious problem. And if he went for his gun, you're damn right I'd shoot him. We're going to give him probable cause now by using foul language on the open. He has no reason to approach me. The Tennessee Highway patrols an area of jurisdiction of the highways. He doesn't have any jurisdiction here in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. The only jurisdiction he has is to make accident reports because the Sheriff's Department is not trained in accident reconstruction. Now, if he's on my property without a warrant, then he's got a serious problem. I don't want people on my property. The Cashel Doctrine. I want you to read it.
Well, I didn't understand all that. Obviously, you know all that.
Obviously, I do know all of that. I told you, I have a law degree, sir.
Must have been in trouble before, huh?
No, never been in trouble. I just don't like aggressive Tarzan wire cops that think they can do anything because they got a badge. I wore a badge, sir. I wore a badge. I'm an oath-sworn deputy sheriff, and I was an oath-sworn city police officer, and I know what the limitations are. There's too much crap going around today. Now, Tennessee Highway Patrol officers has no distance, no business coming on anybody's private property. They don't serve warrants. All they do is enforce Tennessee traffic laws.
He's a landlord.
Yeah, I am a landlord. Helicopter's laying in the backyard. I'm not going to be around. If a county officer comes to my door and he has a warrant, I will talk to him. If he doesn't have a warrant, I have no reason to open the door.
But would you shoot him like you said you would do the Tennessee trooper?
If he forced his way into my domain, I don't care whether he's got a badge or if he's Superman, I am going to protect my home under the Castle Law. What I do is my own business. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to feel froggy, you go right ahead and leak. No, I'm not a friggin' idiot. I've got an IQ of 150.
Did I make a call?
Yeah, you can make a call. I'll let you do it. And Shirovich is not out here talking about me and then, running me down. You can make a call. Go right ahead. Thank you.
WB9GOX, WB9GOX, NHJTG. Round test. WB9GOX, WB9GOX, NHJTG. K9 Easy Mobile. Nothing heard. NHJ.
Let me tell you something, Curtis. You have no harassment by communications. When you signed on to Google, you signed on to the terms of service. Don't you start your shit with me, you little fly-by-night.
He's a brave old wire, so what?
No, I made a promise to somebody that I wouldn't use profanity, and I'm going to live up to my promise. Okay, you
boys want to fight the Civil War. I've been down here 25 years, okay? I can outfight you, I can outfight you, I can outscrew you. You better get used to what I'm here to say.
Stop cussing like that.
Yeah, that profound language is not needed. I made a commitment that I wouldn't use it anymore. I'm honoring that commitment.
Well, that's a good man there.
Now, you're slipping a little. No, I'm not slipping. I just had enough of Chirovich. The man is a convicted felon, okay? In two states, the state of Illinois, that's why he left, and the state of Tennessee. He's been caught with drugs and dealing drugs. Give me a break.
Yeah, but I'm twice as bad as he is.
Well, I don't have your NCI information, sir. If you want to give me your name and address, I'll run you.
That's illegal.
No, it's not illegal for me. Any attorney can do that. It's public information.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, you're wrong here. You let anyone run an NCIC check without proper authorization, their ass is getting ready to get canned.
Okay, all right, Lou, you know so much about the law. Then why don't you
You
come?
can't ask your buddy to run anybody anymore. That shit doesn't happen. This is not Kansas, Toto.
Well, then you go right ahead, because I have authorization for NCIC and I have an FBI number that I use. So why don't you come and take it away from me, Toto?
Okay, all right. You know what?
This guy needs to double up with his medication. No, I don't need to double up on my medication.
He's got letters for cloud and shutting.
Flying around out there. You don't know what you're talking about. I have an FBI number and run NCIC.
I don't want what they're giving you, buddy. I'm telling you, man, that's got to be some pretty good shit.
I don't know if we could take two of them.
I'm legal. I'm carrying all the drugs are legal.
Whatever you're high on life, there's a lot of people out there, and they could sell that shit.
I'm life, man. The only one that needs a life income is you. You're too busy spending your daddy-in-law's money.
I tell you what, you're harping on that, and I tell you what, my criminal record is probably twice as bad as his is.
I don't care how bad your criminal record is. I have no qualms with you. I do have one with Dan.
You ought to just let that go.
I'm more than willing to let it go, but every time that slob is going to open his mouth, it's going to be something about me and my call letters. All you got to do is cease and desist, and I will stop all of this. Yeah, be a gentleman and just forget about one man. I mean, there's plenty of people on the van.
Hell, VFO goes everywhere.
Yeah, and he's the one that made a statement that anybody that talked to me, he wouldn't talk to. He made people choose. I don't go for that. You get Dan to forget he ever knows me, and I'll forget I ever know him. That's my promise, and I keep my word.
Let's see, the thing, though, that bothers me isn't the fact that Dan's using your call sign to identify what you do. It's, what bothers me is that you threaten to kill law enforcement officers.
Well, let me tell you something, sir. I'm a former law enforcement officer, and my son-in-law is currently an active law enforcement officer. Okay? So don't take that threat and try to make something out of it that it's not. I invoke the CASA law. Why don't you go to the library and read the Tennessee Codes Annotated and learn about the CASA law before you go shooting your mouth off and looking stupid?
Well, I wasn't trying to shoot my mouth off. I was trying to get the gist of it and the right of it from you.
Well, I charge money for my legal advice, sir. Do you want to pay my bills?
I got a question to talk.
Shut up, dickhead. Which dickhead you talking about?
If he knows his name.
The childish schoolyard comment from Hinkle. This is a guy that's married money and he spends his father-in-law's money. What can I tell you?
Somebody's got to do it.
What's your call? I want to get your call out there, pizza boy, with your whacked up audio and
all that rushing noise and all, because I do have a complaint against you. What is it, KD9CAT? That's not a legitimate call.
Unbelievable. This tension span is very short.
Your call is illegitimate. Oh, I thought so. That's a confession. So that is a bootlegged call that you're using there. Very interesting.
Go ahead and look them, Dano.
Look them, Dano. Okay. Now you're getting pathetic.
Oh, you're Dano.
Yeah, okay. Is that all you got, Ankle?
The guy's got a legit call. Come on. You know he does. I do.
KD9CAT is not a legitimate call. CHC. Well, that's all I wanted was the correct call letters.
Hey, Jill? Can you hear me, Jill? Yeah. How much plate capacity does she got on C1 with 4 of those?
I tell you what, I've been a radio operator for 45 years. And that is not me doing that. N2 FUV. 1970.
I'll send you an email, Jim. Thank you much. N9GTO.
Okay. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
You too, Jim.
Check you later, big man.
The world is nothing but a stage, and we're mere actors doing our part. Some do it better than others.
Okay, I got a Ronald T. Woodward from 8979 Leopold Drive in Indiana. Okay, that's Darren's, buddy. I'll take care of that.
Well, tell us about the MCI thing. You tell us what you know. I mean, you gotta know he just got out of prison 6 months ago.
I got nothing to say to you.
I mean, come on, guys. He just got out of prison 6 months ago. Got his amateur license while he's in prison, and you know he's out working now. Tell us what you know about him.
Congratulations. Malarkey. Call it whatever you want. Okay, young kid. Yeah, you know, when he releases it, you're going to hear me talking, and that's going to make him mad. Now, let me tell you, after an amateur radio operator, this is the first battle I've had with the lid on the radio. You are surely mistaken, and I do win. So I will take care of Mr. Chirovich in my own way. Okay, whether it's the animal control center coming down there to scoop up them puppies, or a Department of Children's Services for that filthy house he's got there. I don't think he's your big problem. I think your problem's going to be that redneck right up the road that shoot your antenna from off the tire. Well, that redneck is going to get thrown out of my trailer park, and I've never seen a redneck who can shoot that good to hit that antenna. You know, boy, there's a lot of Kentucky boys out here. You better watch out. There may be somebody slipping in on you. Oh, you don't know. Well, I tell you what, I took all the Bronx, I took on all the niggers in the Bronx, and I've been down here for 25 years, and I've taken on these rednecks, too. They don't win, and they come crying to me begging when they need a lawyer.
Yeah, but they hold their gun upside down. They can't get nothing in. You gotta feel sorry for him.
I don't care how they hold their gun. I'm not interested, sir. You come on my property pointing a gun, and I'll drop you. Don't be shooting at no cops. The cop better not come on my property without a warrant unless they got a very good reason. I am a former cop, and my son-in-law is on the job right now. He is a cop. Malarkey! Yeah, probably so. They're all crooked. Ain't up there in the mountains sending that tail? What? I'm letting you boys
always harvest my chin thing. You want me to stop that?
Most of these broke-ass rednecks will have nothing to do then.
Malarkey.
Malarkey.
What is in the lake? Oh, Marky.
What?
Misbehaving like you are, Michael.
I'm not misbehaving, and she don't control the way I do anything.
Now what she told me?
Hola! Yeah, well, you don't know her either.
Malarkey.
Are we done, gentlemen? Can I go back to what I was doing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. One more comment from you, Chirovich, and it'll come again.
Malarkey.
Communication and to SUV.
Anybody hanging around out here on 72? Whiskey Delta 9, Sugar Echo 5, probably standing by listening, 72.
What do y'all think you're doing? I want to know what y'all think you're doing.
Who cares?
Well, I don't know. Hey, you're right. It's not a matter of whether anybody cares or not. It would never give me the idea that I would even care.
Because you asked.
Well, okay. I just wanted to know if there was any brilliant deductions going on this channel. November 4th, Sierra Delta Golf, just in case somebody wanted to know who I was. With my weak tube amplifier. I need a new amplifier.
You need to get a big one.
I got a big one. I got one 3-500. I'm doing a kilowatt or so, maybe. Don't think I got it quite lined up properly.
Send it to TJ.
What are you doing, man?
Just raising hell.
You and me both.
You get that big spoon, you stick it in the pot, and you stir it.
Ah, but we get to lick the spoon.
No, I'd rather somebody else lick it.
I'm thinking about firing up the pirate station and going online with my FM radio station, see if I can piss any of the commercial guys off. Man, what is all this splatter? Don't they know we're using this channel? Damn channel, idiot!
This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, whoever was on 71, 72.1, whatever. We're on 7200 if you want to give it a shout.
72.1? Where the hell did you get your license?
Well, I wasn't on 71, but I'll say hello.
Hello, Dan. I don't know what frequency they were. We were about 1 KC off 7200. What's that?
Let's see, 7201.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know why we were on that frequency. That's like, hey, I want to move off in KC and not bother somebody. It's crazy.
That's all right, man. Hey, the way the day's been going there, I seriously don't think there's too much more damage you could do.
Roger. Well, it was a menagerie when I left.
Yeah, well, that's courtesy of WA2VMX, but that's all right, man. You're so strong, you can come in here any darn time you want.
Thank you, Dan. Likewise. Yes, sometimes this frequency does become a menagerie. It's like the zoo.
Well, these are people that don't know how to deal with life situation on that level, and they try to hide behind the radio to deal with their manhood problems, and they just don't understand that it's not really truly reality. So, you know, it is what it is.
Now, that girl that sounds like a guy, or the guy that sounds like a girl, is that for real?
AC9MV, yeah, he's in Collinsville, Illinois. He's about my age, and he feels that if he talks in a feminine voice, that it makes it all right, even if he uses his call sign. Talk about me. Well,
it all depends on
correspond and actually communicate with each other there, Joe. But let's face it, you're a punk ass bitch.
Now you see, Dan. Now is that any way to start the conversation?
I thought it was an excellent way to start the conversation. I always like to start a discussion with the truth, with the dig.
Well, yesterday I came in there and so politely asked if I could make a call, and I was rudely rejected.
Well, that's because, Joe, you've got a long history of being a corny, no-good piece of shit, and I seriously doubted if you found a new way. I I think you pretty much stay the way that you are, Joe, and you really don't understand anything else. And the only thing that would cure that for you is a good old-fashioned Granite City, Illinois ass whipping.
Oh, you'd have to go find somebody that could deliver that, Dan, because you can't do it.
Well, who would know, Joe? I gave you an opportunity to give me a time and a place there, and you said that would be a waste of your time. Well, actually, you were absolutely correct on that, Joe, because you travel a long way just to have somebody pick your ass up and put you in a car and take you to the nearby hospital.
Oh my, can you feel the love on the channel?
Yeah, Dan's a hater. He's just a hater.
One channel.
He is love coming.
All right, well, Joe, I'll tell you what. I'm going to show you what a really good guy I am. I'm going to let you get in there and
You're a drunken alcoholic.
intelligent conversation with anybody. And you go ahead and take your little old break. And if you can't do it, at least fake it till you make it.
I'm not on a Drake. Those are sitting over on the shelf. I'm on a new radio, a Kenwood 520. Yeah, that was really rude yesterday. That was Sunday morning.
Hi, Jimmy. How you doing?
You were big in the Greek Orthodox Church there, Dan.
That's Serbian Orthodox Church there, you doggone wop. Don't you know the difference between Greek and Serbian?
You know, Greek, Serbian, what the hell? That's close enough.
Well, wop, wetback, what's the difference?
Well, that's kind of true. I don't necessarily disagree with you.
Anyway, Joe, I thought you wanted to make a call. Seems like you're persistent and wanting to have a conflict with me. Why don't you go ahead and make your call if it was so direly important?
Well, I know he's not in there right now.
Oh, well then why call?
I wasn't. I'm talking to you.
No, you're not talking to me. You're talking at me.
Oh,
You've never been man enough to talk to me.
So I don't think we'd have anything to talk about. We don't have anything in common.
Wow, that's the first time you've actually got it, Joe. Congratulations.
Talk about being great, you know, those guys with the reach around, those great fellas.
And you're kind of the opposite.
Whatever you think there, Joe. Anyway, have a good time there, Joe, and I'm going to let you have the frequency, Joe, and just let everybody see exactly what you're made of.
Oh, that would be fine, Dan, but, you know, you're not going to allow that. When you get in there with your buddies, you get very territorial.
Well, yeah, I am kind of an alpha male type, and I understand you're the kind of guy that probably had his lunch money taken away every day at school, so I understand you're perplexed.
Hey, alpha male type. I've stood next to you. You could beat your way out of a wet paper bag.
But alpha male, come on, Dan, alpha male.
Alpha male is definitely not a term I would use to describe a drunk in Tennessee.
Where'd you go, Dan?
I was sitting there waiting for you to use that make a call thing that you asked me for so gently.
I know he's working right now, so there's no reason to call him. But, yeah, that alpha male, that's kind of funny.
Well, I guess the discussion is over with between you and I, Joe, and since you don't have anybody but that one friend that you're calling, I guess you're pretty much SOL.
Oh, that guy's got a great signal there, Dan.
I'll see you all day long if you fucking want to.
Okay, I got an ID, AC9MB. I put my antenna up higher, Dan. I got it up another 15 feet. Can you tell the difference? I'm running about 80 watts right here.
No, I can't.
Well, that's good because I'm only running 80 watts. Normally I'm running a lot more, so I must have did something good.
I can't tell any difference.
Okay, good. That's good.
555. You're just as stupid as you ever were, Joe, if that will soothe your conscience.
Well, what's that thing called? I
The Billy's drunk for calling other people stupid? That's funny.
I was thinking, that's pretty appropriate for you, Dan. Shorty 40. When's Shorty 40 going to get up?
Come on, I want you to get it up there, Dan.
You're kind of drifting away the topic there, Joe. You said you wanted to make a call. Now you want to sit here and fight with me. And Joe, you know every time we've had a fight, you look like a punk-ass bitch. So why would you keep on doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results?
Smoking some really fine Tennessee bud, and you're up there at 50 feet, and you're listening to the birds chirping, and the wind's blowing through your beard, and the world seems great. Just remember, Dan, you can't fly. You can't fly. I've seen Dan fly. He can fly.
Yep, there you go. I've got a witness. I've got a testimony. He has seen me fly.
I've seen it happen.
No, don't. I know you're going to feel like you can fly after you've had that.
Not even leave the ground.
You're going to be, Dan, it's so peaceful when you're at the top of the tower. I don't know if you've ever been on a really big one. It's so peaceful up there. It's like you're a bird. And for a while, especially if you're all doped up like you would be, you might think you could fly, but don't believe it, Dan. Write it on the palm of your hand. You can't fly.
I know you've been on a really big one, Joe, since you were the president and CEO of the Man Boy Love Club.
What is that, Dan? Can you explain that to the listeners?
Well, I would think that it's a gentleman that retired from Boeing aircraft that has homosexual tendencies and has came out of the closet, and he wants to share his genitalia with the young boys.
Yeah, who would that be?
That would be you and whatever young boy of your choosing was.
Oh, that's just a clerical error there, Dan. That never happened. Come on. If that happened, Dan, wouldn't I be like inside of a prison cell or something?
Oh no, Joe, you've signified it as a corporation, you know, like a little Clinton clinic there. What you do is you invite. You know what? You would have been a great Boy Scoutmaster, Joe. You fall right into that type of category there. Boy Scoutmaster, or possibly a cardinal or a bishop or something in the Catholic Church. We know what you got under that robe there, Joe.
Now, come on. Now, don't go in the religious thing, because then I'm going to have to start making fun of, what's that thing here, Serbian, Orthodox, Serbian Orthodox, something. I don't know. Some gibberish that you put on there, so don't go there, Dan. You know, that was just made up by your buddy there in Pennsylvania. I got an ID because, listen, if I don't ID, Dan, listen to my automated station. Listen what it does. Listen, you hear that?
No, I didn't hear it.
Beautiful. AC9MV.
No, I didn't hear that. Try it again, Joe.
Oh, sorry, I reset.
Into TJ Friday.
Go ahead there.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah, there it goes again. You're in the car.
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
That's beautiful. I mean, how could I miss an ID cycle?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe. I mean,
yeah, okay,
Joe.
I'll take it.
Joe,
Yeah.
you sit down.
You know, I was very worried about
boy
people
love
getting
thing
on me
going
about
on there.
ID because, you know, some of our friends, you know, have had some issues with the Federal Communications Commission, you know, and they were ratting each other out if you go like 10 minutes and 2 seconds. So I got this little piece of software there, Dan. It works really cool.
Yeah, I could read to you the last little conflict you had with FCC there. Would you like for me to recite it to everybody? Now, this is from the FCC.gov site, and anybody can go there and follow along with the words if they would like.
Oh, I've got it committed to memory, Dan. That was just, you know, that was just Laura Smith. She wanted to meet me.
Oh, well, I want to meet you, Joe.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. I never thought of that. Maybe she wanted to meet me for that reason too. Maybe she's into that.
You mean she wants to whip your ass too, like a redheaded stepchild, or is that just a coincidence?
Just be careful, Dan. I might like it.
Oh, I know you'd like it there. You're the Man Boy CEO, president of the Man Boy Love Club. I understand that, Joe. You don't have to define it any further.
No, you're very confused there. That was all a ploy put out there by your the guy that calls you on the phone and gives you operating instructions. You know, that guy, I always forget his name, kind of a fat guy, got busted by the FCC for 11.5. Who was that, Dan? Over?
Oh,
is that what you're upset about there, Joe? Is the fact that was all a setup and he was framed and you're scared to death that the truth is going to come out? He's going to walk away scathe-free like KZ8O did? Oh, come on. The reason KZ8O got dropped by the DOJ was because he has no money. What would be the point? But I don't hear him on the air, Dan. Now, I know they've said he's had a lot of medical issues, and I really do wish that Mike would get back on the air because I would enjoy chasing him up and down the band like I did before. So I'm really looking forward to that. So please, next time you talk to him, to tell him to get back in there, Mikey. Come on in there. It'd be a lot of fun. You know, he could run like 8 million watts like he always did, burn his antennas in two, and still couldn't get across the street. It was amazing. No, I was talking about that other guy in that Dombrowski guy. Dombrowski, the district director there that's over Pittsburgh. I think he's out of Philadelphia. Over. Oh, you mean the one that got bumped out of his position at FCC and demoted because he listened to weirdos like you, Donnie Anderson, and Carol Madeira, and trying to get the guy you're talking about busted? Yeah, Joe, I got you, buddy. Joe, we got your number. And Joe, as far as I'm concerned, I have to stay with my original opinion about you. You are a worthless piece of shit, and you will never be anything other than that. Thank you, Dan. Coming from you, I really feel pretty good because, you know, your baseline condition for behavior is so twisted that I take that as a positive, Dan. Thank you. No, we were talking about the guy in Pittsburgh that, you know, after he got busted, he tried to say that somebody had an antenna in his backyard and that little remote receiver. He tried that one for. Now, that was creative. I will say that I laughed for days when I heard that story. You know, the remote transceiver in the backyard in the tree. Now, that was funny. You need to tell him that was very creative. Well, I want to see how hard you're laughing when Laura finally gets your ass and pins you to the wall. Because, Joe, you've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years? What's wrong with you, Dan? You're trapped in a time warp. 14313. You and your little butt-sucking buddy, Whitney Tritt. Oh, come on. Whitney doesn't have anything to do with you. And Donnie Anderson and David Talassi, which are all your friends. You're standing true, Joe. You're holding true to your pack of mental midgets that you've been a part of for a long time. And I'll be glad to be here and sit around and chuckle the day that they take your stupid ass down. Well, what are they going to take me down for, Dan? Why don't you get specific? What for? Not ID? No, IID. Jamming? No, I don't jam. I get in and talk with people. What are they going to take my license away for, Dan? I want you to explain it. Which paragraph am I violating? Over. Well, Joe, I'll tell you what. You violated a whole bunch of paragraphs there, but I'm not truly concerned with it. Joe, I don't need to have a defense attorney about you, Joe. I don't have somebody come in there and say about all the things that you do. Joe, from the words that come out of your mouth every day and every time you get on the radio, you are your own worst enemy. So what I do is I just keep feeding you the rope and you keep on looping it around your neck. Okay, Title 47, Telecommunications, updated September 2014. I'm going to do a word search on asshole and see if I find it. Hold on. Yeah, you might find a self-portrait there, a selfie.
Hey, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, from listening to his intellect, the only thing I've got to say is that he must have his head up his ass because he's got shit for brains.
Oh, yeah, well, he's not very bright. He's not very bright there, Bob. But 97, and I don't see anything that's similar to that, you know, objectionable, any of that other stuff. It's not violating your 97, Dan, so you're going to have trouble getting that to work. Now, you might do something else, but, you know, not the FCC. That's not going to work, Dan. AC9MV. Hey, he gave his call sign. Somebody mark that down on the calendar.
The guy in Tennessee's drunk already. Listen to him. He's swearing his words already.
Yeah, I mean, this is just good old-fashioned ham radio, Dan. Come on, we're going to have fun. If we could invite some of the old-timers back, you know, like David Talassi. I think Talassi got out of amateur radio. He's flying a drone. I saw some videos out there on YouTube. He's flying a drone over in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Over.
Well, after having a couple of warning letters and a monetary forfeiture, being arrested for beating his wife and beating his old lady up there. Yeah, David Talassi is very much like you, Joe. He's one of those morons that keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Oh, yeah, don't eat your oldest can tell you.
There's another one right there. That dumbass right there, WA2VMX, he just got through shelling out $500 because he was too stupid to keep his mouth off of the internet. There's the guy right there.
Really, Dan? $100?
Even there made threats to me under some fictitious name of Bend Over on.
I spend $500 at Starbucks every month. What's wrong with you?
To keep his concealed carry license being taken away from him.
Those triple lattes are very good.
Being about $400, $500, $600
I need to increase power. I got a problem. Hold on.
How's it feel being a fucking drunk?
I think he was talking to you, Dad.
I feel good. I feel good about that. But poor Michael McGee.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
They're talking about I own the sheriff department. I know Bobby Bundren. I know all this. I'm a lawyer. I'm a junior.
There we go.
I'm a landlord. Right. Guess what? The old landlord got served a subpoena from his buddies, and he had to hire a lawyer to keep his concealed carry permit because he was too stupid and took the amateur radio bullshit over to social networks. You are truly a wizard there, Mike, and I want to give you a round of applause.
Yeah, but he made you work pretty hard for $500, Dan. That's a lot of work that you guys went through, getting all those affidavits all signed up, turning into a bunch of snitching little bitches.
Oh, well, you know what? That's why little snitching bitches like you, little pussies like you,
hey, well, you were the one that went crying to the police.
You like to do the crime, but you sure hate paying the consequences for it, don't you?
You're a wussy, Dan. Only wussies cry about emails, Dan. I'm sorry.
Only wussies send emails, Joe. I'm sorry. A man would come over if he didn't like my ass, and we'd meet each other in the street and settle it like men. But little cunts like you and McGrizian, you do it on emails, on radio, hiding by the safety and the welfare of your microphone, because you are a pussy, Joe, and so is Mike. Yeah, you're a chicken shit, Joe. Mike's a chicken shit. And then when you got in there and played your little chicken shit games, and you got a little repercussion to it, and got into his wallet, and eventually it'll get into your wallet, get out there and cry, oh, you're a shit, you're a bad guy. That's because you can't face the fact that you and Mike are a pussy.
Wait a minute, you're the one that went crying to the cops over an email. Now, let me tell you something, Dan. You know, you're one of these Harley-riding posers. You're, like, supposed to be a tough guy. How many tough guys do you know, Dan, that goes crying to the cops because of an email?
I could name a dozen little pussies that get on the radio just like you do every day, Joe.
What do you mean get on the radio every day? I tried to get in here yesterday, and you wouldn't let me make a call to your friend over in
you can't be heard. You feel like you're in the safety of your own home. And you can sit there and talk smack all day long. That's what McGrizzin thought he could do. But when he made the mistake of taking it to social network and threatening my family and my children and putting pictures up there, Joe, that's what got his ass. Ain't that
Rick,
right,
you can
Mike?
do it. I know you're the retail expert, Rick. I got some data for you, Rick. I was looking in the Wall Street Journal or Forbes or one of those, and they were saying that whole factory incentive thing has changed recently. Are you aware of that? I imagine you are. Over.
Well, it depends on which manufacturer you're talking.
Oh, okay. Maybe I wasn't, I wasn't reading closely enough. It was, that could be. Boy, this is a very complicated world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It isn't life great, though? What would we do without getting on each other's nerves?
Yeah, I know. It would be really boring. I'd have nothing to do in retirement.
Well, you didn't really have much of a job to begin with, Joe. What were you, like a janitor at Boeing?
Me too. Bring. You got any really high-end beers? I like that Blue Moon, Rick. Have you had that?
Yeah, I don't like Blue Moon. I'm a light beer. I like a lot of lights. Coors Light, Miller's Light. Those are me.
There's something in Pittsburgh. I was there maybe 10, 12 years ago. Is there like a local brewery in Pittsburgh? Over.
There's a couple of Latrobe. You're talking about Latrobe.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, when was that? What was the? Yeah. Boy, I get things mixed up when I look back in time.
Well, yeah, it was about
stupid, Joe.
years ago that they sold the brewery, but somebody else picked it up. I don't know. It just doesn't like it's the same. It's being made now up in Milwaukee or somewhere.
You get mixed up because you're not very bright, Joe.
Well, that's not what the IQ tests say, Dan. And when I was a poor boy, I went to that big university over there in St. Louis, and they just said you could just keep coming back. You don't have to pay us. Just keep coming back. So I did. I just kept showing up.
Well, sometimes the system has loopholes and a few you morons there slip through the net there, Joe. But
I fell through the cracks.
You made the best out of it, Joe. Even though you're a moron and you're a stupid idiot, you seem to pull it off long enough just to retire. So congratulations there, shit for brains.
Well, I'm not completely retired, Dan. I still do some consulting, but if they don't pay me $1,000 an hour, I don't work anymore. I many years ago, I met a guy who said that if you can't make $1,000 a day, it's not worth working. Well, after about 30 years of me working, I converted that to if you can't make $1,000 an hour, it's not worth working.
Well, what'd you do with all that money, Joe? Because you sure didn't invest it in radio equipment.
So that's absolutely true, Dan. That's absolutely true. Very observant of you. I'll give you credit. I kind of evaluated this hobby years ago and said, I think it's kind of dead, so I never invested in it. I didn't put a dime in it, Dan. Not a dime. But, as I get older, I kind of like aggravating you, so maybe I'll have to buy some new equipment so I can be more effective.
Well, the death of amateur radio is due to the intellect of people like you, Joe. You are a prime example of what's wrong with ham radio right now. And I must admit, up until this point, until you ran into me, you did a pretty good job.
Oh, okay, Dan. Okay, well, I was thinking about maybe upgrading my station, and that way I could more effectively aggravate you. That would actually give me a goal. So that's kind of good. I'll put that on the list, but it's pretty far down the list, Dan.
Yeah, that's what you need, Joe. You need a goal. You need something to shoot for because you're not doing a very good job of what you got.
I don't know. You seem to hear me. Hey, Dan, listen real close. My alarm's going to go off. Listen.
You need to reinvest. If you want to be a pain in the ass,
well, that's cool.
And you can't afford this hobby, you need to dig into that 401k.
Slips right off. AC9MB.
K9RSY.
That does sound pretty good.
Mashed potato.
Okay, Dan, it was fun. Next time you hear me in there wanting to use the frequency, I hope you can see it in your heart if you have one. Boy, the thing that's in the center of your chest, it's probably, yours is probably like an oil pump or something. It's all black and gritty and scuzzed over.
Well, if you could see it in your oil pump to let me make my call. I was trying to call your friend over there in Knoxville. You know the guy I'm talking about. You know, I wanted to talk to him about this whole affidavit thing. I find that very interesting.
Well, you need a call sign there, Joe. You need to be a little bit more specific.
Yeah, man, Jay, real good. Boy, you sound great, and you're above everybody in there today.
That's what Hargrove's in there doing, talking under us there, Dan.
Oh, he's not talking under you, Joe. Hargrove, you shouldn't key on Joe like that.
Hargrove has got a miniature station. He's running an Alinco in 5 watts.
Yeah, Hargrove, you're sounding good there, buddy. Don't key on poor old Joe Italiano like that. You'll give him an inferiority complex.
Dan, why do you like saying my name? I don't hear you saying Rick's Italian surname. I can't remember what Rick's name is. I think he's got a northern Italian surname that, you know, for some reason you like saying my surname, Dan. What's up with that?
Well, Rick's not an irritating, retarded piece of shit like you, Joe, and I have some respect for Rick, unlike what I have for you, Joe.
I'd like to talk to him about where his grandparents came here, if he's like 3rd or 4th generation. That would be very interesting.
I believe he's like a 2nd generation there, Joe.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. See, Dan, that's you should just look and learn.
Well, you know, actually, you need to look and learn, Joe. You need to put that big mouth of yours and park on and open your ears.
Where's your lineage from? Where's your lineage? Rick, are you from northern Italy?
United States of America.
What? Come on.
I just put one of my girls down.
You got to go back a little bit, Rick. Maybe 3 generations?
No, I think that's my business.
Oh.
Give you more ammunition that you can turn around and use against me sometime, Joe. Come on, I'm not a fool.
Oh, what? No, you've been listening to your neighbor, Rick. Now, come on. You got to take everything little Brian says with kind of a grain of salt. You know, we were warriors on the other side of the battle lines. You know, he creates a lot of things, but, you know, I know how it goes.
That's code word for he is a VE7KFM defender, and you are a dark one defender. I thought you didn't know the guy's name there had that fine there, Joe.
Well, all this free association brought it back, Dan. It's like therapy.
Yeah. What do you think about poor old Carol up there just crying the blues about that Department of Justice letter there, Joe? You think the old boy's going to be all right, or should we send him some aspirin so he don't have a coronary?
Well, I don't know. My 20-meter dipole, which, if you could believe it, that's what I always used. I used a 20-meter rotatable dipole at about 55 feet for that whole period of time. A big ice storm came along and loaded it up with ice, and then we got a 35-mile-an-hour wind gust, and boy, that was it. So I haven't been on 20 in a long, long time. Although I can listen, but I don't hear anything when I listen. Over.
That's why I believe in karma, Joe. When somebody misuses their equipment and does it for the wrong reason, you've got your just desserts.
Oh no, you're not. You sound like Curtis, Dan. Karma. No, it's not karma, Dan. It's physics. It's physics. It was that rotatable dipole was made out of 2 13-foot crappie poles from Walmart with a 14-gauge, 7-strand copper-clad steel twisted wire through the metal of it, you know, and it would hold a pretty good ice load. You know, I got playing with that stuff after that hex beam stuff. If you go out there and look online, you could see with my old call N9PH, I did a lot of experimenting with the hex beam, and then when the ice load got on them, man, that turned me against the hex beam because they can't take a big ice load. Anyway, but the crappie poles, that lasted about 8 years, and that was really you know, like $25 and all good.
Well, you just mentioned one of your maybe 5 or 6 call signs. You seem to change your call signs every time you get a letter from Laura Smith there. Let's see, W0WOP, what do you, AC9MV now? And what was the other 2 or 3 of them there, Joe? Joe, you're a phony.
I'm not a phony. I mean, changing your call sign is so easy now, and it's free, Dan. It's free. I told you about this AC9MV call, which, by the way, I'm going to count that as an ID, so you guys counting out there. Anyway, I applied for a new call on the day after Thanksgiving of 2015. I had my new call assigned at 9 a.m. on that Saturday, one day later. No charge, baby. The FCC actually fixed that. That actually works really well.
Well, that's because they're stupid and they don't understand that you're a compulsive repeat offender there, Joe. And that's due to their lack of integrity and efficiency. But, Joe, I'll tell you what there, buddy. I have to give you credit for one thing. You're the biggest cormer that ever came in there with the largest case of denial that I've ever heard. But you do a really good job of smoothing it over, Joe, and I have to tip my hat to you. Dan, when have I quormed you? Okay, could you give me a date? When was it? Joe, you have quormed everybody out here at one time or another. Quorming. And I would just love to actually see you. And this is nothing about a threat, Joe. I mean, I know I can kick your ass. You know I can kick your ass. But I would just one time look to see what kind of a small-minded, narrow-minded, little cowardly piece of shit you are, just right in front of my eyes. Because you truly amaze me. You are a piece of work. Well, yeah, okay, but you might have a problem, Dan, because I'm bigger than you. I don't know what you're making some really bad assumptions, Dan. You know, I think what it all comes back to is there was a period of time when a certain individual found it in his interest to degrade a whole bunch of people just because they weren't on side, if you know what I mean. And the reality is just quite the opposite, Dan. I mean, I hope that someday you can finally figure that out. But you're very slow on the uptake, Dan. You hang on to very traditional lines of thinking, and a lot of that's obsolete, Dan. I'm sorry. Well, you know, I find that quite entertaining there, Joe, because you are a person that out of your own mouth just a few moments ago said that you took sides. You took sides with some crazy son of a bitch out of Saanich, British Columbia, and Donnie Anderson and David Talassi and that flock of misfits on 14313. That was the reason why FCC came in there and took action against that frequency. And the reason why they went the direction they did is because they were bullshitted by you, Carol Madeira, Donnie Anderson, David Bossy, and the rest of your little retarded friends, your little drug addict retarded you took sides with, Joe. Now, yeah, I agree that, you know, people do take sides on situations like that. But, Joe, I was brought up differently than you, and I know the difference between people that are on the ride and the ride. And, Joe, you've been one of those misfits that sucked up to retards like Carol Madeira. You know what I'm talking about. Al-Qaeda Northern. The guy that was a tail gunner on a submarine. The guy that was a captain in the Navy from Canada, but he got kicked out of cadet school. The one that claims to be a lawyer and got never passed the bar exam. You know, the people you follow, Joe, are losers. That's why you and WA2VMX having so much in common. You're both liars and you're both losers. I'm his friend.
Okay, thanks, Dan. That one kind of put me to sleep. You kind of lulled off in the middle there. You need to kind of work on your timing because, you kind of lost the audience there. Well, the fact of the matter is, Dan, I was going to tell you this really quick, and then you'd go think about it because maybe it was before your time. But I got drawn into the whole thing not by any of the players that you probably have heard about. I got drawn into it by a guy by the name of Rambo Dan Jeswald, W4NTI, out of Anniston, Alabama. That man jammed me for years, okay? And he was friends with all of the other guys, And it was Rambo Dan. He was after me. He hated me. I don't know why. He jammed me every time he heard I was on there. And that's what started it. Well, Rambo Dan fell down, hit his head, and died. And then he faded away. And the other ones just picked up where that left off. I had no problem with Guernsey, Crow, W7 CPA, who rode me like a rented mule, man. I would be gone for 3 weeks on travel to Europe, and I would come back and turn my radio on, and W7 CPA would say, Tojo's in there jamming. He's been jamming for 3 weeks. And I'm like, haven't even been in the country, so it was really very entertaining. I really enjoyed it, though. It was a lot. I gotta go because my amplifier is smelling like it's burning again. I think I've got some sort of issue in the power supply, and it sort of scares me. And I know running low power out here is not gonna cut it. So I'll talk to you later, Dan. AC9MV.
Okay, well, it's been a real pleasure talking to your bullshit, Joe, and I loved every lie you've told, and it read just like a storybook, and you have yourself a nice day, Joe, and when you can afford to buy an amplifier that will stay together, come on out here and we shall do it again.
Can you lend me some money, Dan? I could probably get a nice amplifier for about $5,000. Can you lend it to me? I'll pay you back so much a week.
Oh, you just got through saying that I'm a poverty-stricken piece of white trash here, Joe. Why would you want to borrow money from somebody as lowly as me?
Because money is money, Dan, and it spends, and if you'd give it to me, that'd be cool.
Well, I wish I could help you out, Joe, but to be quite honest with you, and I mean